So Jimmy, expected to make a full recovery?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, good. That's good news.
Very good news.
Just taking a couple more days than I expected, but
Yeah,
I'll
well,
be good.
good. That's all that matters. Take as much time as you need.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's 12:30. I think it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. If I can get your attention, please. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 21st, 2023 final in-person meeting. We have RAW next week. And with that, my final, I guess, full president meeting, because the next time we meet, we're going to be doing our induction. So I'll be starting the meeting, but I will not be finishing that meeting. Our new president will be. So this is my final meeting as the president of the club. It's been a great year, but I'll talk about that next in 2 weeks. I'd like to welcome everyone. We have 21 members in person here today. We have 5 members on Zoom, and we actually have 5 guests that are with us here today at the Toronto Lawn. I'm going to go down the list. We have a fellow Rotarian who used to be part of our member, and I apologize, I have not met you yet today. I will come over and say hello afterwards. But we have Yosur Albarani. Is that pretty good? Yeah. And you were a member of this club, correct? Yeah. And you're now up in Yellowknife.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Yellowknife Rotary Club of Yellowknife.
Oh, beautiful. Well, welcome. Welcome back. And you're here for the summer? So we may see you again. Very nice. Great. You're more than welcome anytime. We also have Walter Janjarek. Close enough. Walter joined us at the last RAW, and he's joining us again today for his first in-person official meeting at the Toronto Lawn. But welcome. We also have Tonda Marusid, and you're all the way from Uganda, right? But you're here in Canada, and it looks like you're hoping to stay in Canada. Well, you come a long way, and welcome to our meeting. You're very welcome to be here, and hopefully we'll see more of you. We also have Craig Armstrong, who's joining us for, I don't know, is this the fourth meeting? Fourth morning? Okay, very nice. And we also have Anna, where's Anna? She was here. Oh, way over there. Anna's here, she's been here multiple times. We're hoping she's gonna make a decision soon, right? Very good. Okay, so with that, I'd like to welcome everyone. And for my second last Rotary History Minute, we have, I thought it would be appropriate because it's June. In June 2020, we expanded our areas of focus. Does anyone know what that new area of focus was? Hold on. Is he here? He's not here. Okay, go ahead. Miriam.
Environment.
Very right. In June 2020, the Rotary Foundation trustees and RI Board of Directors approved adding a new area of focus supporting the environment. Creating a distinct area of focus for the environment gives Rotary members even more ways to bring about positive change in the world and increase our impact. So that happened just over 3 years ago. And with that, I'm going to move forward with some birthdays. So we have a lot of birthdays and a lot of anniversaries going on. So Ed Lee is celebrating his birthday on June 27th. Sandy McKellar, where are you? Sandy McKellar is celebrating on June 28th. You know what that means? Yes. Josepha, who's not with us today, but she's celebrating her birthday on June 20th as well. You both share a birthday, you and Josepha. Josepha Michelson, she's a fairly new member. Yep. We have some Rotary anniversaries coming up as well. We have Martin Tremblay, who's on June 29th, 2022. We also have 2 people that are sharing an anniversary on June 30th. That is Lois and Chad are both celebrating June 30th, 2017. So that's 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, 6. Okay. And with that, I'm going to call upon Mike on Zoom to give us our reflection. See here, we lose him already.
Here, you can hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, there. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
You soon to be past President David.
Yes.
Today and every day, embrace your role as a Rotarian with pride and gratitude. Embody the ideals that Rotary represents and let your actions be a testament to the power of service and compassion. Together, as a global family united by the common thread of service above self, we can create a world where hope triumphs over despair, where dreams are nurtured and where lasting change becomes reality. Thank you for being Rotarian, a beacon of inspiration and a force for good in this world. Those wonderful words were written by artificial intelligence.
Wow,
Isn't that incredible?
incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. At this point, I'm going to normally do happy bucks, but I'm going to save those to the end because we have a very busy meeting, as is our final assembly. So for all you newer members, this is where the committees give a final report for their activities over the past year and their successes and accomplishments. So I'm going to call upon my friend Lisa to give us our financial report, club financial report first.
So I created a really impressive looking PDF, saved it onto a temporary thumb drive, which is currently sitting on my dining room table. So sorry, I'll just talk off the top of my head. I had created a report to the end of May. I have split our financial operations into two categories: the money that we receive from bingo and then disperse, and then our operating funds. On the bingo side, to the end of May, we had earned approximately $78,000. And I can tell you that in June, we earned another 7. So the total for 2023, I think Walter's having trouble hearing. Is this on? Is this, oh, there you go, sorry. So for 2022, 2023, we will have about $83,000 in bingo earnings. We've spent about 63 of that. So we have about $20,000 to carry forward to next year. On the operating side, we, between membership fees and fundraising, we have about $23,000. Our committees, our service committees have spent approximately 8,000, and then the other operations of the club have spent most of the rest. So we will break even on the operating side at the end of the year, and we will have some bingo funds to carry forward. Does anyone have any questions? I know you're not looking at anything, you're just listening to me, but I will provide you with the year-end financial statements when I do them, and I really apologize for getting the report at home. No questions? Excellent.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa.
Oh.
There'll be another dining room table. Okay, thank you, Lisa, for that update. Jackie, we're going to move to you for a foundation update.
Thank you very much, President David. For all the new people who are here, this is not a typical Rotary meeting, so please come back. Our weekly meetings are usually far more exciting than this. So please bear with us as we talk about business. Okay, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to the board of the foundation of the Toronto Eglinton Rotary Club. We welcome this year Bill Steele. We have Laura, Bill Martin, Ray Cowan, Tom Knott, Suzanne Tabor, Craig Fossey, and our treasurer, Walter Wells. So these are the people that you entrust your foundation funds with. I'd like to acknowledge right up front the work of Laura Wana. Laura has been our treasurer for 9 years. Secretary, yes. Okay, sorry about that. I'm excited. I'm still hungover from last night. No, not really. Anyway, yes, Laura was our secretary for 9 years, and we really thank her for her incredible focus. That's all I can say. All right. The 2023 the 2021-22 foundation year has been very successful. We contributed to several global grants and district grants with clubs in 7070 across Canada. And we completed the ABCs of parenting with a global grant with our partner club, the Rotary Club of Bayola. We confirmed as a foundation that we would release 10% of the principal each year should a qualifying project be brought to our attention. And we confirmed that funds cannot be sent out of Canada unless they have an agency agreement. Our financial statement was completed by Lois McRae, thank you, Lois, and submitted to the Canada Revenue Foundation. Our funds, you're saying, how much do we have? Well, our funds are held in an investment account with RBC. They hold the McClure funds, and it stands at $175,989 as of May 31st, 23. We meet with our investment advisor and reaffirmed our investment policy at 60% growth and 40% income. We're risk takers here at Toronto Eglinton, as you notice. We made one major change in our portfolio, moving 25% of our growth funds from Mackenzie US small cap to Franklin Templeton Canadian. Now 175,000. That's a lot of money. How long have we have been using it though, but we've been using it in a very creative way. Rather than spending, rather than taking on a project and paying for it in its entirety, we use it as matching funds. And we go out to other Rotary clubs and say, work with us to do this. So the latest that we are doing is we're building a physiotherapy outreach unit with at Dr. Paul Thistle's hospital in Zimbabwe, the Karanda Hospital. So it's going to cost us $19,000 US. Rather than spending all our money, we've gone out and we have matching funds from about 7 or 8 other Rotary clubs. So that's why we've got that money. It's not that we're not spending it. We're spending it, I think, we're spending it as Rotary International does. I want to just also, for the new members, this Toronto Eglinton Foundation has a foundation because we wanted to be independent. We wanted to be able to raise funds and give tax receipts for our projects locally, rather than going through Rotary International in Evanston. So that we're kind of in a unique Rotary club in that we have our own Rotary Foundation. And we have to thank people like Bill Martin and Ray, who were around at the time, who set it up following the McClure funds. So I think that's about it for my. Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about the latest project for the foundation, which was Tom Knotts, happy trails to you. The foundation was pleased to fund the purchase of the canoes that we all had a hand in launching a couple of weeks ago. So are there any questions? Yes, Stephen.
Who clears the birthday money? Because it was sitting there.
That goes to,
Yeah, Walter does that, you know, every so often in an afternoon. He has a bit of time on his hands and he says, well, what Rotary business can I do today? Oh, I better send the birthday money. But, and thank you everybody who sends your birthday money in promptly, because you're doing that. You don't, I don't flood your inboxes with email or give you a phone call or anything like that. Thanks, Stephen, for the question. Yes, Stephen.
Just let me mention Paul Thistle. He's actually going to be here speaking to us. I just want to remind everybody on August the 2nd at the meeting here at the club.
Thank you very much. He's what happened here? Yes, try to come and meet Paul Thistle. Hopefully his wife, who is in charge of their midwifery school in Karanda. He's just a remarkable man. He comes over in the summer to visit family, but he also, he's connected with the Sunnybrook Hospital and he does a locum there. And his son is is in at medical school in U of T. The beautiful thing about supporting Paul Thistle is he gives you incredible feedback as to how the money is spent. So you know that your money is doing what he said it was going to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, I'm going to call upon Sarah, if she can, to give us a quick update on the Public Image Committee. She can do it via Zoom.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, David. I'm going to be super short.
You're breaking up
I
on
took
us.
the Public Image Committee last year from. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's not bad. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So since last October that I've been active in the Public Image Committee, we've had one meeting. I'm hoping that we are going to have more meetings in the next Rotary year. And we've had 25 social media posts about most of the activities that Rotary Toronto Eglinton has had since then. And especially with the different committees like the Community Service Committee, the Fundraising Committee, and also the Environment Committee, we received the information of what they are doing and also some photos and stuff. So we were able to post up some different news on the social media. And we've had around 50 people added as our followers on Instagram. And this is the quick report that I have about Public Image Committee. Yes.
Any questions for Sarah?
And just another note, so we are planning to have, especially for fundraising committee, that we have the speaker series, we have the behind the curtain series, and maybe other series are going to come up. So that way we are trying to tackle on different activities that even each committee is doing on our social media. Then when people are coming to our social media accounts, that way it's easier. I think I'm being echoed.
All right, I'm just going to mute Joe.
Okay. So maybe I have to wait until you.
No, we're good.
Okay. But it's still echoing, David.
I know, I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. Okay, I muted both of them. Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the most important things for the Public Image Committee is we let others know what are the beautiful activities that RTE is doing and inform them. And beside that, having everything sorted on our social media would help people more to know these beautiful activities, and even taking time to look at the photos or videos and even read the captions, what's going on in RTE. So with this sorting out and categorizing all the activities, I think this is going to take place better and better in the future as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Any questions?
If there is any question, yeah.
I'm not seeing any. Okay, well, thank you, Sarah, for the update. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm now going to call upon Dawn for community service. And I'm going to share our screen momentarily, because Dawn has pictures.
Lisa, I got pictures. Thank you.
I just have to pull it up.
That's right. I got the visual.
Hold on a second, because I've got. Bear with me. Presidents. Where am I? I must be looking right at it. So right then is. I put it in a certain spot. Yeah, I know. I just have to. Oh, to the bottom. That's why. Weekly announcements. Here we go. Year end 2023. That's this one. And you just have to push it down there. Okay.
We're all good. Got it. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm pretty loud. You can all hear me. It's hit and miss. Okay, community service, once again, has been very busy. First of all, I'd like to show you all the members we have and how hard everybody worked this year was outstanding. There's our purpose. I'm not going to read everything. You can read it yourself, and David's going to put it in his follow-up messages. Here's all the charities that we supported. I think there's actually a couple more that I didn't include, but maybe I just belong to them. I don't know. Anyway, it was about 15 in total, so it was really a really busy year. This is home starter kits that we delivered to Fred Victor, which I have one next week, is going to be the last one of the year. Here's an interesting letter that Fred Victor sent me. Do you want to take a minute to read it, or? Can you see it? Okay, well, it's going to be later. Anyway, just so you know,
It'll be in my attachment.
what great work we do. Here's Nellie's is a shelter for women and children. We provided them with 2 home starter kits this year in January. 2 people, they can only stay at Nellie's for 4 months and they have to move on somewhere else. So
Keep going.
home starter kits are something very useful to them. New Circles is something that everybody helped in and bring used, gently used clothing. And we did 2 drop-offs this year. And thanks to Ray and Walter Sotka, we did several trunk loads each time. Habitat for Humanity, I went to the build that we're doing and took a picture of it. So it's sort of like townhouses or something like that that they're building there. Anyway, we provided steel-toed shoes to them. Autoclave we provided to the street health clinic, the street health clinic on Dundas, because they do a lot of foot care programs there. And we also provided them at Christmas. We collected up 50 pairs of new socks. The Needleworks Guild, they have about 300 knitters who knit all year. And then they have one distribution day and they distribute to, I don't know, about 20 charities. And we help them sort it all out. It's all done in one day. And many of the charities were also ones that that we support as well. Homes First, this was a new adventure. They said, come and help us sponsor a pizza party for kids at Christmas time. I'm not sure how roaring successful it was. We had a lot of pizza left over. Maybe next year we'll rethink it and we'll do it a little differently. But it was a fun adventure and I think we got some recognition for doing it. So a sandwich program, about 4 or 5 of us work every other week to deliver sandwiches to the Good Shepherd Shelter, which has a outreach program for mobile people. Many of the shelters still aren't having people living in them yet. They might now, but since the last time I spoke to them in April, they weren't. So we deliver about 100 sandwiches every 2 weeks and baked goods and fruit and stuff like that. So food banks. So we gave a lot of money to food banks this year, which I think is appropriate in the city of Toronto. So with our recent donation, we gave $10,000 each to Churches on the Hill and Allen Gardens Food Bank. That's checks, the big check. So there we go. We had a very busy year. That's it.
Thank you very
5
much.
minutes?
Was that
5
was
minutes?
great.
Any
Perfect.
questions? No? Okay.
Thank you, Don. Did you want to, you didn't want to announce who's taking over the committee or?
Oh, Josepha Michelson is going to be the chair, new chair of the committee, starting next week.
Yes, Don can't be president and chair of that committee. Too much work, you know. Okay, let me get back to Zoom. Okay, I'm now going to call upon Chad speak on Zoom for the youth and vocational.
Thanks, David. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so today is my last update as the youth committee chair. It's going to be taken over by Lionel. So my 3-year term was up. The youth committee does need new members. So speak to Lionel about that. Sit in on any of our meetings. We have vigorous, sometimes too vigorous debates, but I think sort of when I joined 3 years ago, the same was true, and we've always been able to sort things out. We all want to do really good by the youth in our community, and I think that can bring us together ultimately to find compromises and make sure we're doing our best in both allocating funds and getting involved as much as possible. I'll very briefly highlight what we've done this year, and then there is one last motion that we've been working on throughout the year, and I think finally have to the point where we approved it, the board approved it last night, and I'd like to bring it to you as well. So, I mean, some of the highlights for this year were we did work with 13th Round, which is a boxing club for youth that they really target some of the most at-risk youth in the committee. They have a gym near Dufferin and DuPont, and we funded a part-time trauma counselor there, and those funds have likely run out by now, but they're going to keep that counselor on, and I think it's been a great success. You heard from some of the RILA students last week. That was another sort of a perpetual thing that we do, and it was a great success. And obviously the visit of trails, which Tom had taken ownership of as a champion, and I think we're glad to be involved with them again, and probably more to come on that front. So the motion for today, and then there's the student awards. Like there are some other things that sort of happen every year as well. But the motion today, it would be to approve Rotary Toronto Eglinton Youth Award for 1 year in the total amount of up to $5,000, split between up to 5 individuals at $1,000 per individual. These awards would be selected by respective organizations, GEM, MENA, or other board-approved organizations yet to be identified. And these awards are to be presented at weekly Rotary Toronto Eglinton meetings.
And Chad, these are also coming from the bingo funds, correct? That's what we decided last night?
Bingo funds for GEM and MENA. The other organizations, if there's one that doesn't fit with bingo funds, it could be approved by the board.
Okay. Any questions on this motion? There are no questions, Chad. So do you want to put the motion forward?
Yeah, I'll put the motion forward. Thanks, David.
We have a seconder. Mike Hazel's going to second that motion. Mike's been dying to second that motion. All in favor? Looks like we're in favor. We're good. Thank you, Chad.
Okay,
Anything
that's
else you want to
great.
speak to?
Oh, the one last thing I'll say is, you know, we're going to be, again, please, if you're interested in being involved, sit in some meetings early next year. One of the projects I'll be updating you more on alongside the environmental committee is an environmental essay competition that I'm meeting, so our club can be a part of alongside the Toronto club and the Scarborough club. So hopefully more news to come on that as well.
Beautiful. Any questions for Chad? Yes, Jackie.
Not a question, but just a comment. Chad forgot to mention that he's going to be representing us at John Polanier's graduation to present the 4 scholarships that we have there.
It's a really,
yeah, that's on Monday, their graduation,
yeah.
and I'll be there for that.
I'll represent you at Northerns and presenting the George Heinzman Award.
This is a really special piece. I did the presentations at John Polanyi last June, and it was my first real piece of a president's role, and it was really great to see these youth graduating and moving on to post-secondary education. It's a really great, you forget how old we are, but it's really wonderful. Yes, Lisa.
Question for Chad.
Yes, Chad, question.
Am I gonna see a check requisition for any of these JPCI checks?
Yeah, actually, Lisa, you're the next on my list of emails. I got the full list of students the winners about an hour ago. So I will be requesting the checks. We have a couple of the checks already from the foundation, but the ones that need to come from the club, you will hear about shortly.
You may be having to drive over to Lisa's to pick them
I
up.
am happy to do that, yes.
Buddy, we're gonna have.
Oh, she's going up to Muskoka shortly.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get you that email as soon as this, before probably the meeting's over, so that drive's a
Okay.
little too far to do.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chad, for that update. And I'm now going to call upon Jim Moore, who's also on Zoom, for the International Service Committee update.
Thank you, David. I'm happy to be able to update the international activities of our club. Rotary, as we all know, is an international organization, and one of our chief aims is doing good in the world. And in our international committee, we do this in partnership with other Rotary clubs and with other organizations. And as Jackie kind of explained in her presentation, we try to leverage our funds to have even a greater impact. The projects that we've been working on this year, the first project, which is a many-year commitment of our club, is water project in Uganda, what's called phase 2 of the Bujiri project. And while the progress hasn't been as happy as we would like to see, they are at least starting to move on phase 2 of the project, which will ultimately provide water and wash facilities and also above ground storage of water at 4 village schools in the Bujiri region. In regard to that project, I'd particularly like to thank Joe and Barb and Norma for their patience and persistence and good humor in moving this project along. It's been a challenge, but they've certainly been up to the challenge. We also have supported a couple of water projects where our club is not the lead club, but a supporter to other clubs. So one of these is in Burundi, in the middle of Africa, where we have supported the Rotary Club of Markham Sunrise in a project there for, again, for water supply to a school. Similar situation in Kenya, where we've partnered with, our direct contact was from the Rotary Club of Montreal, but the actual driving force behind this project was the Rotary Club of Redondo Beach, California, who's one of whose members is their version of Ron Denham, a great activist and promoter of water projects. So we were happy to be able to support that as well. Egypt is the next area where we've been involved. This is through Naveen Yassa and the Rotary Club of Scarborough. And the most recent project there is providing aquaponics, basically growing vegetables in a greenhouse, also raising fish in a greenhouse, using hydroponic methods. We also have been supporting the Karanda Hospital, as Jackie mentioned, for nurses training. We've completed 3 years of nurses training, and we're embarking now on a second 3-year program with them. The other project that we're doing with Karanda as Jackie mentioned, is the rehab training activity. And basically, this is providing physical therapy training and rehab training to nurses in the villages around Karanda and also to the village health workers as a way of outreach to the entire region. And in this project, I'm happy to report, as Jackie indicated, we had set up to $10,000 in the foundation to match other clubs' contributions. At this point, we have, I think, 9,500 committed, and we still have another 3 or 4 clubs to hear from. So I'm sure that project will go well, and we look forward to, we will be welcoming Dr. Paul Thistle to speak to our club on August 2nd. And at that time, present him with a couple of checks. The most recent project that we've been involved with has kind of taken a bit of a change. I spoke to the club last month, and we passed a motion to support an earthquake relief project in Turkey in partnership with Turkish and Bulgarian Rotary clubs. The idea was that it would be a mobile multi-clinic type of hospital in a tent. Anyway, the Turkish government decided they didn't want Rotary to do that. They would prefer to have Rotary involved in providing a couple of emergency ambulances. So we had a Zoom, or not Zoom meeting, we had some email discussions and basically agreed that we need to do what needs to be done, and therefore that we would continue to support the project as it's changed. And for that, that was presented to the committee, agreed to, presented to the board last night and agreed to. And I just briefly like to read the motion so we could consider it today. This is that Rotary Toronto Eglinton support a revised global grant for 2 emergency ambulances, and in the amount of $3,000 US, and to apply for a matching district designated funds from District 7070. This will be subject to the project being approved as a global grant of Rotary International. And I would be happy to make that motion.
Do we have a seconder? Tom Knott. All in favor? Looks like we have it in favor here. So we're good to go.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. That is my
Anything
report.
else? Any questions for Jim? No, I think we're good. Thank you, Jim, very much. I'm happy to sit. No, I'm not going to say it, because if I say it, then we won't be.
Sure.
I was going to say we're on track, but we're not. Okay. I'm going to call upon Lois now to present the membership report and the environment report. Files. You're gonna use that one, sorry. This one that came up.
That's okay. Okay. The membership committee is responsible for all new members, for members leaving, and for the general membership. We follow up on members who have missed coming to a meeting for a couple of months. We follow up on members who are ill. We follow up with members for any problem we can help with and are available for any questions members may have. We are also responsible for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our club. Every year, we update the member survival guide and general overview. This year, we did a major overhaul to that guide. At the beginning of this year, we had 46 members. Our goal for the year was net 3,
which was to mean 5 new members and 2 members leaving. We did meet our goal for the year. We do have 3 new members, but we have 6 members new and 3 members leaving. And you can see it on this schedule. The new members that we have from the bottom was Junlin Dilsteel, Marian Axfith, Mark Ugani, Kevin McGrath, and Bob Vernon. The members leaving, you can see them here, and every one of them had a reason for leaving that was not, they didn't like us, they all liked us. So Fred, obviously he sold his business, his hardware business, and moved out of the area, as we all know. Barb has moved out of the city, and Christina Prasad is working in Ottawa. And I think she's still going back and forth, but she, because her husband's here, but she commutes to Ottawa every week and really doesn't have time for anything else in her life. So that brings our membership from 46 to 49 right now. Of those 49 members, 35 of them, or 71%, are male. 14 or 29% are female. This split is common with the clubs. I believe district had last year 32% female, so a little bit higher than us, but not very much, insignificant amount. Women have only been part of Rotary since the late 80s. Anyway, obviously we'd like to get more female members in our club. We also do have an aging problem in our club. We have an aging membership, and one of our goals is to bring more young members into our club. Of the 49 members, 23 or 33% are over 70. This statistic is not common among clubs. There are a great many young people involved in Rotary, and I hope that we can change our club so we have more younger people as well. We held 2 firesides this year to welcome new members, one in the fall and one in the spring. A fireside is an informal meeting, casual meeting of new members and experienced members, where the new members can ask whatever they'd like about Rotary that they haven't found out about yet, about our club, about district, about international, and the experienced members answer questions and talk about Rotary in general, and it's usually a very nice evening. Are there any questions on membership? No? Okay, then I'll move to environment. If I can find it here. So the environment is the Environmental Action Committee. The other committees you've been listening to today, the youth, the community, and the international service committees. We're an action committee. And this is our 3rd year because as we heard in the president's announcements, it was only in June of 2020 that environment became a Rotary area of focus. So we started our year off last July with Plastic Free July Challenge, which is a worldwide movement to persuade people to stop using one-use plastic. Members filled out weekly sheets of what to stop using in July 2022. The winner was the member whose family used the least items. We had 6 items for the challenge and we ran it for 4 full weeks. The winner was Neelam, whose family only used 8 items. 2 second place winners were Barb Bocking and Don Smith, who used 14 items each. This was our second year doing the challenge. The purpose is to make members aware of how much one-use plastic they use and how difficult it is to stop using it. 3 committee members visited Flemel Farms, Flemington Community Farm, in late August. This is an amazing vegetable farm in the middle of the city. Approximately half of it is a community garden worked by volunteers. The food from it is donated through various emergency food networks in Flemington Park. The other half of the garden is worked by 6 local residents on their own plots. In other words, half of the garden is divided into 6 plots that individual residents that live in in Flemington Park have. They sell their food to local residents at a bi-weekly market, and they keep the money earned. The purpose of our visit was to understand the workings of the farm and decide how we could help. We intend to further our relationship with them this summer. The next project we undertook was pulling invasive species on April 22nd, Earth Day. We worked in the Lower Don Parkland Ravine, which is accessed off the parking lot of Loblaws on Redway. We pulled mostly common buckthorn, which is a small tree native to Eurasia. It requires a special tool to pull it out. It's difficult work. We worked with 4 other Rotary clubs and Don't Mess with the Dawn, a local environmental group. The day was cold and rainy, so we only had about 50 people out, including 14 from our club. Rotary Toronto Eglinton also operated the barbecue, providing hot dogs and hamburgers for everyone who worked. On June the 3rd, we planted trees in the same location under the leadership of Don't Mess with the Dawn. You need permission from the city as to where to plant in the parks, and Don't Mess with the Dawn has that contact, which is why we work with them as opposed to working alone. Tree planting, the trees planted vary in species, including maple, oak, apple, and ash. The process is slow, as the trees are 4 to 6 feet in height and require a wire fence to be built around them up to the top of the foliage to keep rabbits and deer from eating the foliage. TerraCycling oral care recycling. We have started collecting used dental products such as toothbrushes, toothpaste tubes, and cartons, floss containers, and all other non-recyclable dental products and packaging. These items are collected at various meetings, including today, which was announced earlier this week. Once we have a full box, we'll send it to TerraCycle for disposal. The reason that we would be collecting dental products, you might think that is kind of a funny thing to collect, to recycle, but dental products like the ones that I just talked about are not recyclable in your normal recycling bins, and they go into the landfills, and birds and small animals get them caught in their throats and everything else, and they're just not very nice to have in the landfills. So the company TerraCycle dispose of them somehow, I'm not sure how, but we're collecting them to send to TerraCycle. This is an ongoing project until the fall. If the project's successful, we will continue it into next year. So if anyone remembered to bring used dental items today, they can give them to either Don Smith or myself at the end of the meeting. Environmental minutes. The committee members take turns doing a monthly talk on various environmental issues that we feel the club members would benefit from knowing about. This is the educational portion of our committee. Any questions on environment? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lois. Okay, I'm going to call upon, he's already up and running. Our second last speaker, I'm going to call upon Stephen Bianco to talk about fundraising.
Right. This isn't working, I don't think. Is it?
I'll turn on again. It's on now, but it'll turn on. The battery's probably dead.
Okay, hi, everybody. I'll speak loudly enough. Hopefully you'll all hear me. Just to mention, first of all, the club, the fundraising group members, David Richardson, Ed Lee, Mike Moy, John McIntosh, Sarah Safai, Ron Wild, Stephen Stein, and more recently, Mark Yagani, a new member. We started off the year setting up, this is sort of an off year. The year of 22-23 just finishing is sort of an off year. It wasn't a major fundraiser that we had in the past 12 months. So we set a target of just $10,000. We did the Tree of Remembrance at the Young Eglinton Centre in December and netted approximately $4,000. We have had a behind the curtain event at the AGO, which netted approximately $2,000. We sold 2 pairs of platinum, I think they were, hockey tickets, which raised about $1,000. We had a single item auction, which raised 150, registration at trails 150. And coming up this weekend, we've got this jazz festival, which we're doing in conjunction with the Toronto East Rotary Club. And it's a bit of an open estimate there. We don't know, we could raise anywhere between $500 and a couple of $1,000. Based on that, oh, and we also sold some of the Project Give Back cards, more about that later, which raised about $600 so far in the year. So we'll come in somewhere between 8,500 and 10,000, dependent upon how successful the Jazz Festival is. So that's sort of what the year holds. I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, to come back to the Jazz Festival, we still need 2 volunteers. It's this weekend. It's at the East York Civic Centre at 850 Coxwell Avenue. And we need somebody in the 1 to 3 p.m. time slot to work with Nan. I'm sorry?
Walter Syke is volunteer.
Oh, good. Okay, Walter, that's terrific. From 1 till 3. And then in the 7 to 9 slot to work with Dawn, we're looking for 1 more volunteer. So if somebody would like to shove their hand up, much appreciated. She needs somebody to work with her. So the 7 to 9.
Yeah, I'll go again.
Okay, that's terrific, Walter. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, no, you want, we can take more than one.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
So can I just say something so that people don't get lost? It's the blues festival, not the jazz.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, sorry, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. Sorry, that's correct. Okay. I want to mention 2 other things. First of all, we have the club voted in favor of going to the Woodbine racetrack, more of a social occasion than a fundraising occasion, but we're going to go. We've got a date now, August the 28th, Sunday, August the 28th. We'll get information out to the membership in the next week or so. In the next week or so, and we should have a very enjoyable day. Starting probably around 12:30, running till 3 or 4, depending on how long you want to stay. Racing actually starts at 1 o'clock, and as I say, we'll get information out to you fairly soon. The other thing,
The 20th and 26th.
28th is a Monday.
So it's the 26th.
It's the 26th.
what?
It's the 26th. It's Saturday,
Okay.
the 26th.
Sunday. It's Sunday.
Sunday, the 27th of August. We'll give you more information. Got a little bit of a lead up on this.
Sunday is the 27th. Yes, I apologize for giving you the wrong date. Okay, Sunday the 27th. And the last thing I want to mention, the Project Give Back cards. These were packets of cards. There's 12 cards. They're blank cards on the inside. There are 4 different designs. There's 12 of them in the thing with envelopes. They're really great to be used for all sorts of different things. We started off selling them at $40 a pack. And in order to clear the remaining 20 packs, we've reduced the price to just above cost, which is $25. I have a number of them with me today. I would be pleased to unload some of them so I don't have to carry them back to the car and take them home again. And please see me afterwards. Thank you.
Do we want to ask the membership for Agacom? Is it the Agacom we're going to talk to?
We could mention that certainly.
Okay. A couple things that we're doing for the fundraising group is we are doing potentially 2 more behind the curtains. And we just want to get some ideas if people are interested in this. So the one is the Agacom Museum. It's over by the 404 and in Lawrence. Are there anyone of any interest that we can arrange something like we did? Eglinton and the 404. Is there anyone can I just get a show of hands if this is of some interest to the group? I would say that's probably good.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other one I have, which is probably going to be a little more cheap and cheerful, is we're going to try and organize a tour of the Elgin and Winter Garden Theater complex, the last standing double-decker theater complex in the world. It's down on Yonge Street across from the Eaton Center. So we're looking at potentially doing something like that. We're not going to see a show or anything. It's just going and seeing the historical venue. Any interest in that? It's going to be fairly cheap, probably $50 if less. We're going to try and keep it very cheap and cheerful. So there is some interest there too. Okay, we need a minimum of 15 to get a private tour for that. So, but we'll give you more information on those.
Very good. And just also to let you know that I will be continuing in my role as chair of the fundraising committee.
Yes, Stephen's staying on. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Okay, Lars couldn't be with us today, so he is, I'm gonna do a very quick rundown of the bingo. As we know, bingo is a very important piece of our fundraising. And so Lars had sent me an email. I'm going to read it over just so everyone understands what bingo means to our club. So bingo is one of the club's major fundraisers. Our club is one of the about 50 charities at the Delta St. Clair Bingo Hall at 1799 St. Clair West. We are one of only 4 Rotary clubs at that hall. And depending on the day of the week, there are 4 or 5 bingo sessions in the hall. In addition to bingo, there are about 150 slot machines in the hall throughout the day. Each session for the charities consists of two 1-hour shifts, two 2-hour shifts. 2 people are required for 2 hours per shift. The members must be certified, which is met by individuals taking an online training session provided by the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Authority. And for the people that have taken this thing, it takes time, but it doesn't take a lot of brain power. Right, Lisa? Yeah. Didn't take time for a lot of brain power for me. Currently, we have 12 certified members within the club. While that has been sufficient, it would be good if a few more members could take the training to become certified. If you're interested in doing that, you can reach out to Lars. Some of the current members may want to withdraw from the bingo circuit because there's been a lot of people doing it for a long time. And the tasks are fairly simple. It's really about welcoming people to the hall if you really have to do that, cleaning the tables from the used bingo sheets, keeping the area with the slot machines clean and orderly, as well as assisting customers anyway. Example of drawing attention to the staff. It is really easy, and I found that you get to spend some time with a fellow Rotarian, and it does go by. Some of them go by faster than others, but it pretty. And was it you and I, Donna, were there, and they won the 10,000. We won the 10,000. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Someone won a 10,000 bingo game. Walter's also done that. Have you done well there, Walter?
At bingo, you've won.
Walter's a volunteer, but then he plays afterwards. Okay. So during the first 6 months of 2023, we've had 17 bingo sessions. For the second half, we're now down only to 15. This is a result, and I didn't know this until I got this memo, that they've decided to cancel the 10 a.m. slot. So I guess they must not be doing bingo in the morning anymore, Monday through Friday. And to Lisa's point earlier, we raised over $80,000, hopefully over $80,000 this year, which is a really important contribution towards the club. If people are not aware, funds raised at the bingo can only be, according to the rules of this by the City of Toronto, be used for activities benefiting the appropriate. OLG, benefiting the residents of Toronto. So organizations receiving bingo funds from our club must be approved by the city. And this approval process is fairly simple and straightforward. And the city requires charities to use the funds rapidly, as Lars likes to remind everyone at the chair level. Keeping funds in a charity bank account is not appreciated by the city. That's why Tom likes to spend the money at trails. Our club policy is that money, because it has to be used for local individuals in the City of Toronto, the International Committee does not get to take a piece of that. So typically the funds are split between the community service and the youth and vocational committee groups. So any money, so they potentially could have over $40,000 to use each for the Rotary year, which is a great way for them to be able to spread the wealth to all those needing help. Finally, he said, I want to thank the members of the bingo team. You're doing a wonderful job raising a substantial amount of funds for the club to make a difference in the local community. Lars, are there any questions on the bingo? I think I can't reaffirm even that it is the largest. Even when we do our biannual fundraiser, we don't even raise close to this this amount of money. So it is a very important piece to our being able to do good in the community. So if you want to take part, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it's a kind of good thing to give back to the community. So if you are interested, please reach out to Lars. Joe keeps wanting to come back into this meeting. He's already here. Okay, with that, I'm going to take us to do 2 last things, and we've been keeping pretty good time. Oh, no, we're a little late. I'm going to go through the present citation fairly quickly. Just so everyone's aware, every year, and Dawn's in the process of doing hers, every year the president has goals that they set. And Lois mentioned them earlier for the membership. So she and I spoke at the beginning of my year, and we talked about what we thought we could get net in new members. So there's a whole bunch of different things that we have done that I just have to share my screen, sorry. That we think we can do as a club. And these are pretty much set up by Rotary International. I'm going to take everybody fairly quickly to the Rotary International website. So this is the rotary.org website, where Dawn will be putting them in if you haven't already. Have you put them in yet? Yeah. Oh, they're done. Very good. And so I just want to kind of give everybody some idea of what's there in this site, and basically some of the stuff that was mentioned from Lois, and the gender trends, the membership trends. If you ever want to know anything about our club, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because it is there. You just have to go on Club Central on rotary.org. And all this information about our club, your club, is already there. But one of the things I want to mention is that the project trends and funding. So this year, based on the information I got from our committee chairs and all the different functions that we did over 35 different initiatives between fundraising, community service, international, and youth and vocational. We did over 35 different initiatives. And with that, we have given out $156,000. That's what it says. And that's what it means. But yes, that's what we've given out this year. And then we have done 156 volunteer hours. No, that's not right. 1.7 thousand volunteer hours, and that was 156 volunteers. So that lots of duplication on our part. But it took 156 volunteers over different projects to raise 1.7 thousand hours of volunteer, which is exactly why we're here. Let me jump into the goal center just so you guys have an idea of where and what we are doing. So where you see a green check mark means we've met our goal for the year. And typically you do 16 or 17 goals, and I think you need to reach 13 to get a certification from Rotary International. So club membership, we spoke to that already. So we had a net number of 49 new members this year. We did lose those 6, but we did gain those members to make up the difference. So as of yesterday, as of Tuesday, we had 49 new members, which was an achievement. I talked about the service participation. These are the service, how many members were involved. Again, 37 members were involved from our club in different service initiatives. New member sponsorships. This is one we always want to make sure that, new member sponsorship is basically you bringing in new members. And we had 2 of our members bring in new members. So we had Nan bring in Bill Steele. Oh, he's gone already. And then we had Lois bring in Marion. So I had a goal of 3. So we did not meet that goal, but it is something that we need to remember, that it's always important to bring people that know Rotary to bring in new Rotarians. Rotary action groups. So these are like the wash rag, something that Ron's a part of. And we have Neelam, who's part of the district level on the environmental side. We have 3 people that I know of that are involved. There could be more. They're involved in a Rotary action group, which is important because there's lots of action groups within Rotary. I'm not sure if everyone knows that. There's some on golf, there's some on all sorts of things. You just have to find the right group, and you need to go on to Rotary to find out who they are and where they are, and then you can actually join those action groups and be notified of them. Leadership development participation. We had a very big keener this year. Lisa was involved in 2 leadership programs. You finished off the level 3 this year of the Rotary Leadership Institute. And she's also taking a course with Sarah, which is on tomorrow night. The membership and marketing course is being hosted by Prince out of the Toronto Club. It's a 3-part series. You and Sarah are taking that one together as well. So there's our 3 for the year. And we are very involved in the district conference. We had 10 members join the conference this past year, last October. And I'm assuming, I know there's a lot of us going to the one again this year in October. We'll probably meet that number, if not more. It's a really great time to meet fellow Rotarians. It's just one step out of a club meeting, and you really get to meet some really great people while you're there, and you get to see what other clubs are doing, which is fantastic. And it's only out in Oshawa this year, and it's out at the Marriott Downplay Suites. It's about a 45-minute drive from here, and it's a lot of fun. It's really great. The one thing we didn't do, because I think it's probably because we're fairly seasoned as we come to our leadership team, there are opportunities for our district that hosts leadership seminars for chairs and such, that if you're interested in becoming a chair of a committee, you can actually take courses on learning how to be a chair of that. And none of us have actually taken any of these this year. So I asked for 2 and we didn't get any. The annual fund, as of the 19th of June, these are in US dollars. My goal for the year was $5,000. We actually raised $5,190 for the annual fund. This is part of the birthday fund contribution, every Rotarian every year. That helps us get to that level of commitment. And it is one way that we can do more good in the world, because money that goes to the annual fund does come back to us in 3 years. So it is an important contribution on every Rotarian's part to be a part of that. Polio Plus contributions. We had a very large donation this year. I had a goal of 500. We actually hit $1,655 for polio this year. And that's where some people have given extra money when they give their birthday funds, because we asked for $100 US, which is typically around 130, 140. And then anything above and beyond that, you can indicate you want to go to polio. So we have had some people given the some polio money as well. Service projects. We had a goal of 12 and we had 33 based on all the information given to me by the service committee chairs, as well as fundraising and such. I have reported 33, and that's what generated all the money raised and the volunteer hours. So that's a big contribution. The RILA participation, which is really RILAs. We had 2 people go to this year, and they actually spoke to us last week. So we had a goal of 1. We actually had 3 people ready to go, and only one of them had to back out at the last minute. So we did have 2 go. As you know, we did do a strategic plan this year. We have had an online presence, as Sarah has spoken to. We've done multiple posts and such. We've had multiple social activities between our barbecue, which is our next one coming up in August. We've had some other events ongoing. And then Sarah and Mike have been updating our website and social media. And the one thing we keep striving for every year, being in the big city of Toronto, is getting some type of media coverage. And it's so difficult for Rotary Club. And so one of the things that we try to do is build out the Rotary Connect program, where we have more clubs involved, making a bigger mass of contributions. I'm hoping maybe we can say, yes, we did get one if we get some coverage at the Jazz Fest, because we'll be a part of it, the Blues Fest, I should say. So that might happen. We may get some reporter coming and doing an interview, and hopefully Don may be interviewed, but who knows? Who knows? We never know. And then the use of official Rotary promotional materials. And that's, if every week you saw my presence announcements, that is an official PowerPoint page from Rotary International's Brand Center. So we did do that. So we actually hit 14 of our 17 goals this year. So I applaud the group. Thank you very much for all your hard work and contributions. You should be very proud of yourselves. Okay, and with that, this is my privilege and my pleasure. The last thing we're going to do today is we get to hand out some awards to some very deserving Rotarians. First off, I want to thank everyone who put nominations in for these individuals. I think they're very deserving. We have 2 actual awards to give out. The first one is the Paul Harris Fellow. Now, the Paul Harris Fellow, and I need my phone because the person who's receiving it is not here. So the purpose of this award is to honor an individual, either Rotarian or a non-Rotarian, who has consistently demonstrated support for the objects of Rotary and who satisfies the spirit and intent of the Paul Harris Award. The Paul Harris citation reads as follows: in appreciation for tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations between peoples of the world. This is being presented this year to Ganezi. This is for her efforts in keeping our relationship strong between the Biola Rotary Club in Turkey and our Rotary Club Toronto Eglinton, and for all the international initiatives she has brought forth and pursued for the better of the 2 countries. It makes her a perfect recipient of this award this year. And I reached out to Ganezi, hoping she might be able to join us today, but she's not unable to, but she's going to watch the YouTube. So Ganezi, this is for you. Her response to my request of joining us and letting her know that she did win this was, wonderful. I'm thrilled to hear that I've been awarded the Paul Harris Fellow Award this year. Thank you so much for recognizing my efforts in keeping our relationship strong between the Biola Rotary Club and RTE, and for all the international initiatives I brought forth and pursued for the betterment of the 2 countries. I feel truly honored to receive this recognition. So that was from Ganezi. So again, she has been a big effort with Jim's group and the international community, the mobile clinic and the disaster relief, but the ambulances, that was her initiative. She partnered with the other club there. So again, very well deserved, and I will make sure she gets the pin. Secondly, and this person knows that they're receiving it because they happen to be on the awards committee. So the second award is the Service Above Self Award. And this is an award presented to a club member who exemplifies a true Rotarian. is given to a member in recognition of their efforts this year for the better of Rotary and the community at large. This year, the club would like to recognize Tom Knott for his contributions and his leadership in the Trails Initiative this year. So Tom, you want to come up? I have a certificate for you. And I need to get you a new frame. I brought this frame over with me. It broke on my way here, but I'll to you the camera. So this is the certificate. This is what you get. So it's called the Quiet Rotarian Award. Whatever the need, whenever the call, without fanfare and too often without recognition, this Rotarian's diligent work optimizes service above self, presented to Thomas Knott for all you do behind the scenes, for which we are eternally grateful. June 21st, 2023. Thank you. Congratulations. Hang on to that. That's the bottom part.
I just want to say, thank you to all you guys. You make it very easy to participate. And thank you for all your support this year. Thank you.
Okay. And with that, that finishes up our meeting. So next week we have Raw. So we're going to be meeting on Wednesday evening at 5:30 at the Duke of Kent. There was potentially an opportunity to have a district or a Connect group, but we felt with the whole Blues Fest going on Saturday that we'd push it to July. So we're going to do a Rotary Connect Raw in July. We're hoping to anyway. That's the intent. But join us next week. There's no meeting here. This is my official thank you and my official goodbye as president of the club. I will see you on July 5th as I hand over the reins to Dawn. But thank you very much for a great year, and I applaud everyone's great effort. Have a great week, everybody. Yes.
The Rotary